Okay. So first of all, welcome all of you. A very good morning. And this is going to be the training on cloud computing for the AWS Solution Architect Associate level training that we offer from Early Rise. And thanks to all of you for choosing us as a training partners. We focus on providing a very, very high quality and laser sharp training in terms of ensuring that all the participants get the best value from the training course with us. That's one of our key focus areas for all the courses that we offer. So having said that, a little bit about the company's profile as such. So Early Rise is a very, very young startup. We are about 3 and 4 years old and one of the fastest growing education technology companies around. And we provide end-to-end learning solutions to the corporate as well as the academia. So we have outreaches to the institutions, the universities, as well as the corporates as well, right? And our solutions are very affordable in terms of the not of the cost, but in terms of the diversity of the categories. And most of the courses that we have are the niche categories of cloud computing, fog computing, big data, blockchain, IoTs, and other trending technologies, right? And our instructors who are associated with us typically are very experienced in the industry, and they are certified SMEs in their own areas. And they come with an average experience of at least 15 to 20 years of service IT delivery from various organizations. And within the cloud environment, they have a very strong exposure, hands-on on the subject that they provide as an education to all of us. So that's about the pool of the instructors in terms of the quality that we have. Now about this particular course. So this particular certification training in cloud computing, which is the AWS Solution Architects associate level, is created keeping in view the industry's demands and the requirements. So this course is very much tailor-made for all of us. And the entire AWS course that we have is in line with the actual certification examination. So it will not only help you prepare the AWS Certified Solutions CSA examination, but more importantly, you will be able to effectively demonstrate your knowledge and your understanding of different architectures and the deployment of secure and robust applications within the AWS cloud environment. So that pretty much sums up the understanding about the course. And to talk about the instructor today, so we have got Harish, who is one of our best instructors in the job. And Harish and we have been working for quite some time, I would say. He's a very, very versatile engineer, certified as a cloud architect with over 20 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Comes with a lot of expertise in the engineering as well as architecture areas on different models of cloud, private clouds, hybrid, as well as the public infrastructures. And he has a lot of demonstrability in terms of transformation projects, migration projects, typically building large-scale data centers on AWS cloud, right? And has a lot of experience in terms of various projects that includes the automation, the DR, as well as the virtualization, which are very, very important concepts in the cloud environment nowadays. And comes a lot of experience as well in terms of core designing, development, as well as the deployment of infrastructure using various open source tools and technologies. And Harish is also very qualified in terms of DevOps, scripting, as well as the config management tools. And some of the projects that Harish has executed have been very, very cost efficient in terms of scalability of high availability architectures and adhering to the highest security standards, because within cloud, security is one of a very, very important and fundamental aspect. And in terms of building specific business models for various customers, so Harish has a very, very credible reputation within the industry with the customers that he's worked for, and he's got a pretty sharp acumen in terms of understanding the various solution requirements about the customers. So that's in a short about our instructor today, who is going to be taking you through this beautiful journey of the next few sessions, or I would say the next few weekends in terms of the cloud training. And to talk quickly about the training schedule. So typically what we do is we have this sessions for about 4 hours each on Saturdays and Sundays, starting 9:30 to about 1:30, I would say. However, sometimes it so happens that based upon the content being delivered or the topic being covered, there may be an extension of about half an hour or about 45 minutes towards the end of the session, which I think is always in the benefit of the participants, because our objective of training people is to ensure that they learn the best. So the focus is always in terms of quality education to all our participants so that they learn and go back and implement it well. But however, once the training starts, it's between the participants and the instructor to kind of do a handshake and understand how do we want to have these short breaks and ensure that learning is effectively covered. So that's about it from my side in terms of introducing the entire batch. So welcome all of you to this particular batch. And I will hand it over to Harish now. So Harish, good luck with the batch and wish you all the best. And a couple of important points from my side before I wrap up is we take a lot of pain in terms of ensuring that we provide the best of the content and the quality of the training to all of you. And we just want our participants to be on time for the sessions when we start, and also ensure that within the sessions, please feel free to ask any questions to the instructor. Stop him at any point of time if you want to clarify your understanding or doubts about any specific area. So more than welcome to do that. However, just bear in mind that we also have to cover the entire curriculum. So Harish is going to be focused upon ensuring that we have a good coverage of the entire curriculum from start to the beginning. And you also have a copy of the curriculum with yourself. So you can keep on referring to that as we speak. Okay. So Harish, all yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Devashish, for all your help and support in starting the session. Right. So I'll be taking care of the team. Thank you. So hello everyone. My name is Harish. As already you have got my introduction from Devashish. Right. So in order to align the training to fulfill your expectations, right? So I request all of you to one by one let me know about your current understanding of the cloud and the most important goal that you may be having in your mind, right? So now I am familiar with all your names, right? So I have Shweta, I have Buddha, I have Karthik, I have Anshika, Pradatta, Rahul, Sai, and Santosh. Correct? Fine. So that's great. Thank you so much for being here, right? And we know today what is the importance and what is the challenge, the main issue that we are facing with the cloud, right? So many IT people are not sufficiently skilled to take up many new roles, right, that are coming up in a very much effective way, right? So I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate each one of you, right, as you have already started your journey. Most of you are already on the journey and you have a good exposure and experience. So, and for those who are beginning, right, so all of us will be working together, right, and helping each other, right, and we'll make sure that we succeed as a team, right? So towards the end of the course, we will be discussing about the certification, about the question patterns and everything, right? So till we reach there, right, so we will be focusing on the curriculum, right, and I'll be definitely customizing and adding the content, right, based on what I have understood from your discussions and the requirements, right? So today we know that the rate of innovation is the fastest, right, as compared to what has happened in the history, right? So based on that, we are forced to develop new capabilities, right? And we need to deliver various new features to the customers who are always looking for it, right? And at the same time, on the other hand, we have the responsibility to keep our technology latest, right? And we are having the fear of risk, right, to maintain the balance. So these two competing priorities needs to be handled, where we need to develop new capabilities, right, and at the same time we are having the fear of risk, right? So you take any business news or some magazine, right? So you will be knowing about the success stories of various companies who are adopting the state of the art and the latest technologies, right, with related to various advancement in technical domain, right? So be it machine learning or be it artificial intelligence or IoT or serverless computing or biometrics or robotics or whatever, or cloud computing, right? So simultaneously, companies are trying to adopt newer and newer ways to improve the quality and the agility, right? So when it comes to cloud, right, we have to focus on various aspects, various technologies, and the methodologies, right? So you might have been working on DevOps, or you may be familiar with site reliability engineering, right, or any other IT related concept where each of these technologies and each of these frameworks are designed to overcome a specific set of problems or issues, right? So when it comes to deliver cloud, right, we need to apply a combination of these tools, technologies, and methodologies and the practices, right? So as I said, this is the biggest challenge here, right? So we are on the same, right, in order to develop our skills, right? So let's begin with the introduction to the cloud, right? So in this session, we'll be covering the introduction and the benefits of the cloud computing, the basics of data center, right? And about the virtualization, right? Which is a technology which will be helping us in enabling the cloud, right? So we begin with looking at the essential characteristics of cloud computing, right? And then we will proceed to define the cloud, right? So am I loud and clear to everyone? And please confirm, right? So that, because sometimes what happens due to some technical or some issues, sometimes I am alone and speaking, and others may not be there, or somebody we might miss. So I'll be reminding, I'll be taking your names in between, right? So if you confirm, that would be great, right? So
sorry to interrupt, Harish, just one.
Identify the essential characteristics of cloud, because it's like a river without bank, right? So we should try to define it, right, and try to, so that it is easy for people to relate to it, and the development of cloud gets a boost as well, right? So let's discuss each of these essential characteristics one by one, right? So the very first thing is the on-demand self-service, right? On-demand self-service. So we, anybody wants to explain what is on-demand self-service? So this means,
so
yeah,
the cloud is yeah, sorry. So it's like, once you have the console or the access to the cloud, or you have taken a subscription, you can, on demand, as in you do not have to depend on any intervention. You can go ahead and, as per your capacity requirements, you can change the, configuration of what you need. Plus, you don't have to really take care of the backend infrastructure, as it is taken care by the cloud provider. So on demand, whatever your need is, the supply is available. And self-services, again, you do not need any assistance. You can straight away go and get what you require from the cloud.
Perfect. Perfect. Very well explained, Shweta. Thank you so much. Right. So hope all of you are able to relate to it. Right. So you have the cloud services available 24 hours a day. Right. You can access from anywhere. Right. You just need network connectivity. Right. So you can access at any time. You can access the cloud from anywhere. Right. And based on the demand, whatever you want, whatever is your expectation, that will be quickly delivered to you, right? Now, let's look at the other essential characteristic, broad network access, right? So what do we mean by broad network access, right? So cloud services can be accessed from any type of devices, right? Any type of devices, maybe desktop, maybe laptop, maybe tablet, maybe smartphone, maybe any mobile, right? So here, by saying broad network access, we mean, right, that it's anywhere available based on any kind of device, we are able to access it, because this they'll be providing the HTTPS and HTTP endpoints, right, to access the service, right? And we may have, like, in case of public cloud, right, so we'll have public network access to our services. So this is the meaning of broad network access. You can understand, like, it can be accessed broadly from any of the devices, right? Now, what about resource pooling? So here it's from the point of view of the service provider, right? So from the cloud service provider's point of view, so what they do, they maintain, right? They acquire all the computing related hardwares where the cloud services would be running, right? So it's kind of, they will be pooling the resources. They'll be pooling the resources. What kind of resources? Computing resources, right? So they'll be pooling it in various data centers across different physical locations, different regions, right? And they will be keeping that pool so that they can fulfill this on-demand self-service, right? Or they can give the broad network access, right? So for that, what you need is computing resources, right? So in order to keep the price competitive, right, they will have many various types of resources pooled, right? Because if they don't have a huge pool of resources, price cannot be competitive, right? So here we can look at this resource pooling, right, from the price point of view as well, right? From the availability point of view, from the benefits that customers are getting, and also from the cost of effective point of view, right? So another thing is rapid elasticity, right? So what is elasticity, right? So it's like, elasticity means the capacity, right, to go up and down, right? Anshika, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, actually, okay, so resource pooling, can you just tell me what resources, like what are the resources included? Like you said, cost is included.
By resource pooling, what I mean is, it's about the computing resources pooled together. Cost effectiveness is the benefit. So here, what is the benefit of, see how we do carpooling, right? So what is the purpose, right? So we pool it, right, so that we have various resources available, and you can just look at the goal, right? It's cost effective, and it's like available, right, on demand, right? So what happens is, you have various types of servers, you have various types of resources related to servers, other components, right? So let it be storage or networking related stuffs, or caching related, or related to any aspects of computing, right? So what they do, they just club, they just purchase, they just arrange they keep on making a bigger and bigger pool, right, in their data center, so that they can fulfill your demand. Say if they have only 100 servers in their data center, and you need some 150 servers, that's it, cloud fails there, right? So this is one of the essential characteristics where they are supposed to pool the resources, they are supposed to keep the resources, right, and they will be sharing it, right, they will be having a big pool from where they will be sharing with the customers. So it's not necessary that at any point of time you will be consuming all the resources they are having, right? So some of the resources you are consuming at this moment, say like you are using 100 servers, right, and very next day you may be using only one server. Now if they have a pool, right, so they can fulfill the demands of numerous customers, right? So somebody may be using less resources, somebody may be using more resources. So understand from the resources point of view, right, just understand like some kind of virtual memory, some kind of physical memory, I mean virtual what do you say, resources, say like virtual machines. You just think like processors, processing capacity, compute capacity we call it, right? Some kind of networking related capabilities, right? So they will be having a data center. In that data center, they will have their own pool of resources, right, from where they will be sharing the same to the customer. Am I clear?
Okay,
right?
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So about the rapid elasticity, right? So what is elasticity? Elasticity means going up or down, right? How?
Yeah.
Based on the demand, right? So
Yes.
it's like capability to know this elasticity, just as in general term, if you think, right? So what it is?
Stretchability.
Correct. So
Flexibility.
yes, definitely, right? So this is a general term where you have the benefit of going up or going down, right? So you can understand like if there is a huge requirement for resources, right? So what will happen? I should be able to meet those demands, right? Today, you require, say, like just now, how I discussed, like, no, we have a pool of resources so that we can fulfill the demands, right? So now I have, say, like a need of 1,000 servers today. And very next hour, I don't want those 1,000 servers. I just want 100 servers. So now I'm going, up and coming down, right? So this is the ability to increase and decrease the resources, right, to match the demand, right? I have the capability to increase my resources or decrease my resources, whether manually or automatically, right, to fulfill my workload, to fulfill the demand, right? So say like during holiday seasons or during some kind of festivals or something, right, there is huge pressure, right? So that time everyone wants a lot of servers, right, lot of capability, right? So that time we have to increase the resources to meet the demand. And the very next day, right, all are on vacation, and nobody is interested in getting the resources utilized. That's it. So it will reduce accordingly, right? So we'll be looking at various aspects, right, how we achieve the elasticity, right? Any doubt in this rapid elasticity concept?
No.
Nope.
Okay, thank you. So we'll be monitoring, right? Whatever workload we are having, so that we will be monitoring, and based on the situation, based on the workload, we can configure it to scale, up automatically, right? Or come down, decrease the resources automatically or manually, right? So that is that kind of characteristics are essential to any of the cloud, not only AWS. Right, so this is a feature. These features that we are discussing, this is not only for the AWS, it's for all the clouds. Right? So now comes something very important, right? So that is measured service, right? So it will be based on subscription, right? So how we have we are getting the bills for our electricity meter, right? So we have a meter, we are paying some basic rental or something for keeping that connection alive, right? And then on top of that, whatever units we are consuming, right? For these many units, we have to pay this much. For above from that unit to that unit, we have to pay by that rate, right? So all those things are defined, right? There may be some changes or something, right? So they need to publish those changes, right? And this is a measured service. As much as many units you use, you just have to pay that much, right? Exactly in the same way, right? So cloud computing should have, right, this mechanism, this particular characteristics where the services that they are offering must be measured, right? So like you are looking for this much of storage space, you are looking for that much of bandwidth consumption, you are looking for a particular service, right? So it should be measured. Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay, so we will be looking at from the AWS point of view, we'll be looking at various options, right? Say like we will have some kind of budget. We can decide on the budget. We can go for exploring the cost. We will have some tools like Cost Explorer. We'll have some kind of monitoring things. So we'll be looking at things. We will have some kind of anticipated price, right? What may be in future. So all the features are there. So we'll be looking at it from the AWS perspective. Fine. So now we are in a position to define the cloud. Now just take a moment, look at the definition, try to relate whatever things we have seen so far, right? So all the 5 essential characteristics, do we have it in this definition? Right? Clear?
Yes, it's clear to me.
Perfect.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Right. So cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. So these are the resources, right? So network, servers, storage, applications, and services, right? That can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimum management effort or service provider interaction, right? So this is again the standard definition given by NIST, right? Now comes the question, why cloud computing, right? So let me share my whiteboard and we'll discuss these concepts. Okay, so now the question comes, right? Why cloud computing, right? So hope my whiteboard is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so maybe you can suggest some points. I'll keep noting it and then we can conclude. Randomly, you can one of you begin.
Ease of management.
Pardon?
Cloud helps or eases the management of the computing devices.
Okay, so
I mentioned ease of management. Yeah.
oh, okay. Sorry, I just missed that. Okay. Ease of managing resources, you mean to say, right?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
Reducing my capex.
Great. Right. So I'll write like this. Okay. So fine. We'll discuss all these points. Please go ahead.
It's cheap.
I just missed.
Cheap means
Okay, cost effective.
cost effective.
Okay.
It's secured.
Pardon?
Secured.
Security. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
It's more robust or
Okay.
Can be accessed from any of the location.
Yeah. Just you need is internet connectivity, right?
Yeah.
So
It's scalable and agile.
yes.
And yeah, scalable and agile plus
Accessibility. Accessibility, right? Somebody told ease of access kind of thing.
yeah, and reliability also because of the high availability or disaster recovery things.
Okay, accessible, right? Accessible. Reliability, you told?
Yeah, reliability and resilience.
Oh, great. I missed agile. Okay. That's really great. Almost we are covering a lot of points. Right. So anything I missed? Anyone wants to add? Perfect. Right. So when we talk about ease of managing, right? So definitely, right? So it's easier to manage things, right? Because of lot of features that cloud is having, the essential characteristics we have looked at, right? So we can collaborate easily, right? We can work together, and we can have a centralized kind of place where we can keep our documents and we can access from anywhere, right? So definitely this is a great point. Thanks for bringing this. And then it comes to capital expenses, right? So I think Buddha, you have told about this.
Yeah, that's correct, Adish.
Okay, great. Okay, so many points I have got here. So yeah, this capital expenses, we have no concept of capital as well as operational expenses, right? So if you look at, give me a moment, 1 second. Okay, so we have, if we talk about expenses, so we have capital expenses and we have operational expenses, right? So that's a great thing, right? So here we will have pay as you go model, right? So we don't have to invest too much when it comes to public cloud, right? So we don't have to invest too much in we don't have to expand actually invest, right? So you can simply begin with the operational expenses, right? So we just have to pay for what we are using. So I can say like pay per use or something, right? So we'll have that concept where we don't have to go and build huge data center which might require crores of rupees, right? So we can avoid that, and it's no, again the maintenance of that data center, again that would be expensive, right? So it's kind of what I'd say, this is kind of buying, and this I would say like renting, right? So we can rent out, right? So we don't have to invest in the building if you want to stay in the building. So it's not necessary to purchase it, right? So we can rent the building, right? So kind of that, right? So we can that is great, right? So we can reduce even for private cloud, we have the capital expenses involved, right? However, once so that would be similar to what we have on premises and what other our own owned data centers and other things are there. So private, so we'll be looking at each aspects of with respect to capex and opex, right? So that's great. So we talk about cost effectiveness again. This is because of why we are considering this point is because we discussed about the pooling of resources, right? So there I used the term cost effective, where I said like, fine, we have a pool of resources. So obviously, if I have a lot of resources, definitely I will be at the upper edge of the competition, right? So definitely I can give the same at cheaper cost. So that's a great aspect related here. Okay, so when it comes to security, right? So I agree here with this point as well. So this is security is like big aspect, right? So say like if I give an example of having a data in a office laptop, right? And if we lose that sensitive data along with the laptop, right? So we are we are at a great loss, right? So here, if we are having our data in cloud, right? So it will give us security from that aspect, right? Because data is stored in cloud, and we are accessing using our mobile or our tablet or our laptop or from various numerous devices where we are not having the actual data stored in our devices, right? So it's in a central place, and security is we'll be discussing about security, how it is a shared concept, right? So how the service providers are responsible as well as we are responsible for securing our data in the cloud, right? So have a rest assured the service providers, right, are working day and night to keep and maintain the security of their data centers physically, as well as right secure it from the other aspects, right? So
But Harish, is security, can that be a principle or reason for going on to cloud? Because I think when we go to cloud, somewhere we compromise. We, no matter what, you're
yes,
giving your data security in the hands of a third party.
agree,
So can
100%.
security be a reason for going to cloud?
Definitely, you have raised a very nice topic here. So this is something I 100% I align with you, right? So again, it's just like kind of a trade-off, right? So this cannot be a reason, right? One of the most important reason for going to cloud, but again, it depends on what are your requirements, what is your workload, what uh, part of your data center or what part of your organization's information and the data you are taking to which part of cloud, right? So again here by cloud we mean we'll be coming to that point with public and private cloud concept,
Right.
right? And one aspect is that, and the other aspect is we are having what kind of data, right? So if it is a sensitive data, where we should store, whether we should keep it in our own server or whether we should keep it in a private space, or
Right.
we should keep it in cloud, right?
So I think
So I think
security is one of the major concern which is yet to be addressed when we talk about moving to cloud, and that is one of the area which most of the people or most of the organization looks into, because when it comes to your own data center and you put your own security, it is more secured
Yes.
than if you're taking things on a public cloud.
Yes.
So Yeah, I mean, it would depend on what kind of compute, I mean, what kind of
Yes.
configurations you're
Yeah.
going to use, what kind
Yes.
of data.
Yes.
But the thing is that probably gives rise to the availability of a hybrid cloud as well. Like you
Yes.
put some resources in public, you put some resources in private based on your need, and that gives you an opportunity to have a different kind of a model altogether. So yeah, I mean, I would agree with Shweta that security doesn't drive the need
Yes.
for moving your data to a cloud.
Yes. 100%.
It doesn't drive,
100%.
but however, I mean, the data is more secured in on premise.
Yes.
But if you're moving to cloud, as you've mentioned correctly, there has to be a trade-off, and
Yes.
the way we are configuring the security would be the key in terms
Yes.
of understanding how we are going to manage it.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much. It's very well explained, right, Buddha? So definitely, yeah. So there comes the concept of hybrid cloud, right? And again, no, again the various aspects of security, right? And what you can securely, keep in cloud, right? And what you need to, keep within your own data center or something like that. So we once we look at the various aspects of the security and the type of data and all those things, right? So blindly we cannot take security as a reason for moving to the cloud. I am 100% in accordance with what Shweta has said, right? So agree. So now it comes to robustness, right? So what do we mean here by the term robustness, right? So can we take this as a similar here? No, robustness, reliability, say like resiliency, right? So can we discuss these topics together, kind of related, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I would think
yes.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The-
So then say like no, if we talk about resilience, right? So hopefully no, this can address the other points as well, right? So what is resiliency? What is resilience, right? Right. So say like we deform something, right, and it comes to its own no original shape, right? So we say that it is resilient, right? Say like there is some interruption in the service, right? Some issue happens, some fault happens, some normal operations, whatever was going on, that is interrupted, and there is there is a drop in the service, right? So in that case, when there is a fault or there is an issue, when there is a problem, right? So still, right, we are able to maintain, right, an acceptable level of service, right? Still the service is available. Let there be a fault to some extent, and whatever extent you can tolerate that particular fault, that is the level of your resiliency, and that is the level of your reliability, and that is what is your robustness of the system, right? So it's all about how tolerant you are, right? So if I use the word fault tolerant, so that will be little stronger, right? So that will be say like little more stronger as compared to resiliency, right? So if I say fault tolerant, right? So it should be there should not be any degradation in the performance when I talk about fault tolerance, right? I say like high availability or something, right? So your system should be able to continue its function to some extent, or to the acceptable extent, I would say acceptable, right? So whatever is acceptable by the customer or the end user, or by you, right? So that extent, if it is available, right, I say it is resilient. I say it is resilient, right? So you'll see a lot of things would be fault tolerant here, right? Lot of things you will see highly available, right? Lot of things you will see like we say that it is a scalable, what do you call it, scalable, or you have the other point we'll be discussing about the scalable, right? So, any doubt in these concepts? Robustness, reliability, and resilience, right? All of we are on the same page, right? Right. So, one of you please confirm.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, now about the scalability, right? So, we touched the term scalability. We were discussing about the elasticity, right? So, when we talk, when we say scalable, right? So you just assume that it is we are talking about increasing the capacity. We are talking about matching the increased demand. When we are talking about scalability, right? When we are talking about what you call is elastic, right? So when we talk about when we say elastic, so immediately you can think of okay, we can increase the resources or we can decrease the resources. No, both are possible, right? If something is elastic, right, we can increase or decrease the resources based on the workload, right? When I just say scalable, right, so you can say understand like oh we are talking about we can increase the capacity, we can match the increased demand, right? So when I say scalable, so it gives that much of that meaning actually, right? But in order to fulfill the elasticity related impression that elastic word gives, here this scalable also is used multiple times. You will be seeing always throughout the course I'll be saying, can we scale up, can we scale down, right? So is it this, can we is that resource having ability to get scaled up? So I'll be using some term like up, down, right, in or out. So when we talk about scalability, right? So when we talk about the scalability, right, so it will be like scaling up, scaling down, right? And then I can say scaling in, or I can say scaling out, right? So like that we can use this term, right? This term in itself is talking about what? To match the increased demand. So we are talking about increase in the demand. But when I say scale up, so what do you mean by scaling up? Anyone? Scaling up.
Increase the number of the resources.
Yes. We add the resources to here, if I say scale out, right? Here also we are increasing the number of resources. In case of a scale up also we are increasing the number of resources, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So how we can differentiate, right?
Scale up is basically you are uh, increasing the numbers in terms of, say, for example, the virtual machines, which
Number
I
of virtual
understand.
machines.
Yeah. And while we say scale out, that would be increasing the computational power of a particular, the storage or capacity of a particular virtual machine.
Actually, it is vice versa, Buddha.
All right, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just vice versa, right? When we say scale up, so you assume that we have a server, right? And we are scaling up, right? So we are adding the compute capacity. So it's just the vice versa, right? So what we say here, number of, you say number of resources, add number of resources to same VM.
All right.
Okay, and here add more VMs. Or nodes or systems, right? So
Sure.
yeah, so when we say scale up, so that means we have a system, right? And I have say like 1 GB of RAM, or like I have 2 vCPUs, right? So if I make it 4, right? If I make it 8 GB, right? So I'm scaling up, and scaling down is just the reverse, where I will decrease the number of resources from the on the single node, right? So it's removing of resources, removing resources, right? So those kind of facilities are there, right? When we talk about scalability in the cloud, right? When we say that let's scale out, so what happens in scaling out, right? Adding more VMs, more nodes, and addition of more nodes to the system, to the distributed system, right? So say like you are having one web server, right? And now you are adding 4 more web servers. So now you have 5 web servers. So that is scaling out. And from the 5 servers, right, now you don't want 5 servers to handle the situation because that has arisen due to some kind of heavier workload. Now you reduce the number of servers you just define, right? So if the workload has gone to that extent, you can scale out up to say like 10 servers. All right, you can define it, and then you can say like, okay, when the load decreases, let the number of servers come to a minimum of 2 servers. So all those things we can do it automatically, right? We can do it manually, right? So when we talk about scalability, so this means all these things, right? So clear to everyone? Any kind of confusion when we talk about scaling up, scaling down, scaling in, right? So scaling in means what, Anshika?
Yeah, so the increased number of resources.
Increase, not see, scaling inward. So say like you have so many resources, now you are scaling in. So just cut down.
Yeah, okay. You have to bring down the resources.
Bring down the number of nodes.
or VMs.
Decrease the number of nodes. When we talk about, okay, so I think we are almost good on this page. Let me just, can I clear this page and discuss more on this on the fresh page?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just clear this one. Fine. So now what I mean to say, when we talk about, right, scaling in, so we have these many servers, right? These many servers, right? Now, if we have to scale in, so we can manage with the, say like 2 servers, right? So we'll remove these servers. We'll not terminate these servers. We'll remove these servers. Now we'll manage with only 2 servers, right? So this I say scale in. Got it?
Yes.
Removing nodes.
Resource.
Cut down resources.
Let me say removing, not resource, that may be confusing. Let me say removing nodes from system, whatever kind of system you're having, right? So removing nodes, say like we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 servers, and now I have only 2 servers. Understood?
Yes.
So what was being managed by 7 servers, now the workload has reduced. So we will manage with 2 servers only. Right? So that is scaling in. Any doubt in this?
No.
Perfect. Now we talk about scaling out, right? Just the reverse. Now we have 2 servers, right? And the workload has increased. Too much of workload. Now these 2 servers are not capable of handling those much lakhs of requests. So now we need more servers, right?
Adding nodes.
Yes. Now it's going out. You see? This will go out, right? So this is scale out. Adding nodes. Perfect. So adding nodes to the system. So that is scaling out, right? So you are clear with the scaling up and down also, right?
Yes.
I have a server where I have 1 GB of 1 gigabyte, I say, or GB of RAM, and I have say like 2 CPUs, right? Now I add more resources here. So I add more resources because the workload is more. So I increase it to, and I add plus 1 more GB RAM and 2 additional vCPUs, so that we will have 4 vCPUs now and 2 GB of RAM. So this is called scale up. This is the same server, only one server. This is one node, right? Now, if you talk about scaling down, right? So say like whatever 1 GB RAM is there, right? Let's not scale down from this. Let it be this normal, right? Now we scaled already to 2 GB, right? And 4 vCPUs we got, right? So from there you want to scale down, say like, right? So again, you can come back to the same point. That can be called scale down. Or from this point also, if you want to further reduce it, you say like 500 MB of RAM, or you say like, no, now I want only 1 vCPUs, right? So this is also scaling down, right? Scale down. So understood mainly what is the meaning of scale down?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for confirming. Right, so we have been discussing the various benefits and why we should go for cloud computing, right? So say like free of capital expenses, as we discussed, right? The flexibility, right? We have been discussing about the agility, right? And about the disaster recovery, right? So this is something we did not discuss right there, right? So this is possible, correct? Disaster
Yep.
recovery.
Yep.
Okay, all of us understand what is disaster recovery?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone wants any explanation here, just in terms of basic understanding? No? Okay, fine. So just understand that this is a good thing for smaller businesses, right? Who will not have all this kind of expertise for doing DR, right? They may not be having money to spend upfront cost for setting up DR, right? So cloud is the perfect solution for them, right? So this is awesome thing for them, right? Now we look at this software patching related things, right? So if we talk about patching, right? So some of you might have understood the situation, right? How tough it is, right? In the environment where we have to manage the each and every software patches, right? And about the compliance and all those aspects, right? So a lot of things are involved here with respect to software patching, right? Anybody has anything to say, any experience want to share on the software patching?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
in
like
general, these software patches are being released on a based on the release
great.
cycle for the provider, which are managed or shared by the vendor like Microsoft. And then generally in a legacy environment, those patches are being pushed into the systems using a particular tool. It can be WSUS or any such kind of a tool
Yeah.
to load the patches, and then it get deployed based on the agreed cadence for deploying the patches. But if for when it is in cloud, I would understand that patching would be managed by would be a managed service, because if I'm going for infrastructure as a service,
Yeah.
then the underlying infrastructure would anyway be managed, would be a managed service, and also the security and the patching would be provided as a managed service as well, unless I'm not wrong.
Yes, perfect. That is perfectly all right
So
what you have said.
do they really manage the patches, or do they just provide us the repos, and it is the what exactly is the managed service here? Who owns what kind of responsibility?
Okay, yeah,
So
that's a good question. Yeah, yeah,
I think that depends on the type of cloud we have. I mean,
yes,
private, public.
yes.
So if it is
Talking
private,
about
then obviously.
I'm talking about only public cloud here.
Shweta, yeah. So that's no correct. That's a very good no question raised here, right? And what Buddha has no explained, right? So that is correct. And who was next? I just missed. Like somebody tried to say that depends on the type of service.
Yeah, that's me, Pradatta. Harish.
Pradatta, right? So perfectly well said, Pradatta. So let me consolidate all these three things, Shweta, right? So you will have a better no, clarity here, right? So what happens is it depends, as Pradatta said, right? So it depends on the type of services we can we are opting for say like say like. And now if you talk about the public cloud, right? So you can have no automatic software patches for various aspects, right? So it depends, right, what you are choosing. Say like if you choose EC2 instance, so now you are managing, that will come under IaaS, right? So there you will see that you are managing things, right? If you go for some RDS, right? If you go for some kind of other services that AWS is providing, right? So that each and every services that we will be dealing no, one by one. So there I'll be pointing out, right? So where you will get minor patch, where you will get all the patches, where you have to just define the maintenance window, and they will be taking care of the patching for your RDS MySQL instance, or for so for various other aspects, right? So as Buddha shared, right? So it's like it's kind of no for managed services when it comes to public cloud, to answer in short.
So, Harish, are you going to cover in detail about these patches
Yes.
later, right?
So
Okay,
I'll be
that's fine.
for each and every service, I'll be explaining you, right? So whether patches will be provided or whether we have to take care of it, right? And
Okay,
in
okay,
each
perfect.
scenario where now to say like this is managed by me, right? So like so I have to take care of it, right? So I'll be covering that.
Yeah, Harish, I just wanted to go back to the previous one, DR. So DR does not come automatically with every cloud service, right? DR,
You need
maybe you
to
have to take it,
you get
purchase it
the
separately.
yeah, you get the infrastructure, right?
Yeah,
There you can set it up, correct?
okay.
It's just
Again,
about
I mean, it would depend on the availability zones and the kind
I
of
mean,
the availability zones. And
HA and DR, there will be two aspects how we want to cover it. If we take DR, it is probably more expensive, but there are ways of configuring the HA in a way that you get the DR along with it.
yes.
Probably that's my understanding with cloud.
Yeah, that's definitely a way, right? That's no definitely a solution, Shweta, I would say, right? So say like here by saying why we should no go for cloud, and mentioning this disaster recovery as an option here, right? So what I mean to say here is, say like you have a small business, right? So how will they manage DR in case of no, they don't have money to set it up? they don't have money to set the pay for that capital expenses involved for their servers, right? So they don't have money to pay for it, right? And they don't have expertise also, so they don't know, right? So two aspects are there. One thing related to cost, capital expenses, another thing related to expertise, right? So what happens here? So in say like you are getting option for a DR, or you are setting it up on your own, right? So with help of the cloud provider, right? So some kind of solution you can definitely reach at, whether a particular service provider is having a feature for DR, a dedicated DR, right? Or you are setting it up from your point of view, right? So, but definitely purchasing of servers and maintaining a data center for DR, right? So that is not going to be possible for smaller businesses. Do you agree? Correct?
Yes, yes, I do. Yeah.
So it's just about upfront investment, right? And expertise of the service provider. Correct? So we'll be looking at after the discussing various concepts, right? So you will have better solutions, right? And already as Shweta has indicated, right? So we can have various solutions for DR, right? Software patching. And then we already discussed about the ease of management, as Buddha explained, right? So one of the option is like, we can have a better collaboration, right? So we can access the documents, we can access the things from the control, right? The collaboration and the control, these two things cover the ease of management, right? And work from anywhere. So this again, these three things you can say like ease of management that we discussed. So collaboration, document control, right? And work from anywhere. Say like now in this current COVID situation, right? So definitely, if we have our files and folders and documents and worksheets, right, in centralized location, right, and we are some people are working from a different zone and some people are working from some other zones, right? So kind of control over the document, kind of collaboration that we can have, the place from where we can work. So all these flexibilities, right, we can get, right? Now about security aspects, we already discussed, right? And we'll be trying to understand before deciding, right, whether we should take a particular component, right, from our own infrastructure to the cloud, right? So definitely we need to look at what kind of security is there, right, for that particular component, right, that we are going to migrate to cloud, right? So you're looking at it. And the competitiveness, right? So any understanding, any thought related to competitiveness, right? How we can have a competitive advantage or competitive edge, right? If we are going to cloud from, say, like smaller business point of view.
I'll get a pricing benefit. I mean, if it's a small business and if I have put my application in the cloud, I can reduce the the effort and the cost it would take for managing the devices on my own, and I can focus on
Yes.
developing my own application. So that would give me a competitive edge to
Yes.
work or to increase the efficiency of developing the work that I am that is my bread and butter kind of.
Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. So again, from the smaller business point of view, right, if we look at this aspect, right, so they are now into business to compete with people who may be big organizations, right? So this small organization is not having so much of money or expertise or some kind of things where, and they cannot invest upfront in the purchasing the resources and the computing capacity and all those things, right? Now they simply went for say like a cloud, right? And they are at the same level, and they may be at a better level actually. So whatever a big organization might have purchased and managed and maybe maintaining, right? So this smaller organization may be having better technology just because they went to cloud, right? Because cloud provider might be on the latest technology which the organization might be thinking to adopt, right? So now here this smaller organization is getting the better competitiveness, better advantage, right, as compared to bigger organizations, right? So this can also be one of the reason, right? uh, Thanks.
How about cloud economics?
Cloud economics. Cloud economics, you told?
Yes, yes, yes. Because I think it is one of the aspects where we can easily, manage the economics as to how the optimization and things like that we can propose. So maybe that is also one of the reason why go to cloud.
uh, Yeah, we can say that no, we can try to assess, right, the benefits of going to cloud, right, and whatever. So again, that is just like kind of value for money you are talking about, right?
Um, right, because what happens is in a traditional infrastructure,
Yeah.
it is very difficult to optimize. We cannot, easily
Yes.
we'll do a capacity management and reduce and get in things like that. But in cloud, the economics is much easier because
Correct.
there are certain features that cloud provide which can easily give us our, because everything is associated through the console. So it's easy to pull up the data and do an economics as to where we want to, save the
Agree.
costs. So
Agree.
that is also one of the aspects you will cover in the
Actually,
training,
cloud.
right?
Yes, definitely, definitely. So that is a big picture actually, Shweta, right? So once we have understanding of the level of flexibility, right? Once we have understanding of the scalability, right? Once we have the understanding of the monitoring aspects, right? Once we have the understanding of say like auto scaling, right? So once we have all this understanding, right, so we can, if we put all of it together, right, then it comes to economics, right? So from the pricing point of view, from the economics point of view, right, how we are going to optimize, right? So we'll be discussing about various aspects, right, from which we will be looking at cloud. So definitely economics is one of the pillar, right? So that we will definitely be discussing, right? So at various points during the course I'll be pointing out, right? So what is the financial aspect of using this particular resource or service, right? And what is how it is going to be beneficial for us, and how we can optimize it, and how we can utilize it in the best possible way, right? What are the factors that are going to impact and our operational expenses, right? So you have used a term where it is a very big concept which will be accommodating everything here. Like it's not about one only money, but it's about based on the financial aspect of it, based on each and everything that we have been discussing about, right?
Yeah, because that's where, if you
Yes.
see, that's a major requirement from us. So I would love to,
Understood.
get that aspect, yeah, covered.
Understood. Yeah,
Yeah,
understood.
yeah.
Right. So we no we'll be looking at it, definitely. Definitely we'll be looking for each and every service. We'll be looking at it. Fine. Okay. So
Yeah, thank you,
no
Harish.
problem. Yeah. Yeah. So the another aspect is like, last but not the least, right? So about the environment friendliness, right? So anybody has any insight, why this point is here? We may not be considering this, but yeah, there are people, there are organizations who are,
Less carbon footprints because of lesser number of data centers, lesser power and utilization racks,
Resource
etc. So
pooling.
yes,
that
correct.
would help in the
Yes.
friendliness.
Correct, correct. So while explaining virtualization, right? So maybe we can, I will try to explain, right? So what you have told, Buddha, right? So for everyone else, are you able? You may not be able to relate, right, about the environment friendliness. But just for understanding here, that when we are using, say, like I had just used the term some time ago related to carpooling, right? So when we were pooling the car, right? So what was happening there? Was it environment friendly or not?
Yes, and
Correct?
Yes,
No.
yes, it is. Yeah.
Exactly relate to it, and you'll have the answer how it is environment friendly. So what we will be doing will be discussing about various aspects where how we are going to make it environment friendly, right? So how it is becoming environment friendly from the service providers point of view when they are pooling the resources and keeping in one place, right? So just like carpooling, right? So similarly they will have less number of servers, right, as compared to you are purchasing, say, like 100 servers, considering the 10 years of future aspects, that after 5 years my workload will become that much. So based on that, considering that you are purchasing some server, maybe you are purchasing more than the capacity that is needed as of now, right? So you just require 2 servers you are purchasing, and